told that the issues with your back pain are related to arthritis or because of arthritis? Have you been told by your doctor that your back pain is due to arthritis and therefore will never get better? I'm here to give you a different answer. Hey, I'm Dr. Nick Salinas. I'm a back pain specialist and functional movement therapist, and I'm here today to give you hope on how to heal back pain from arthritis once and for all. Now, to tackle this topic completely, we are going to jump into what arthritis is and what it isn't, how patients with back pain from arthritis present, and what tends to cause that, and of course, how to get out of pain once and for all. And if back pain is something that's been bothering you for a while, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because we're going to be filling your inbox up with content that you have not seen before or heard before, because we look at the body completely with a 360-degree approach, and that's why our patients get so much better. And I love helping people get out of pain because I know exactly the type of limitations that back pain can place on a person's life and completely diminishes their quality of life, their ability to smile, find joy, and live out their purpose. So the purpose of this YouTube channel is to help you live out your purpose, back pain free. And so if you can jump on board with that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Now, this is a little model of the spine, a couple spinal segments here, and you can see how they are shaped. Normally the disc is right here on this big portion, the body, and then we can feel this tiny little guy, the spinous process, in the back. There's a hole right here that your spinal cord goes down, and the disc, the spinal disc, the almighty spinal disc, is right in between the different levels. So the disc is named for the levels above and below it, such as L5, S1, or L4, L5. These are the two levels where most people break down and have most of their discomfort right along the belt line and waistline. So now we're looking at the back of the spine here, and these are the spinous processes. And these little guys here are known as the facet joints. And they line up with the bottom segment lining up, meeting the top segment, the above segment. So again, L4 on L5, and they create this little bit of a wedge here at a bit of an angle. The facet joints are where most spinal arthritis happens. And there's irritation there, and you can see how it's kind of wedged forward to backwards in this presentation right here, if we can zoom in. And when we're aligned like this, what happens is when we get rotation, left or right, those segments tend to clip and can create that irritation and inflammation. And that is the primary area where spinal arthritis happens, not in the body, not in the big portion of the spine. And so you might be saying, how can this little piece of the puzzle right here, about the size of a pinky, cause me so much pain? And it just goes to show you how the body wants to protect itself, because pain is an indicator and tells us to do something differently. It's a piece of the way that the body speaks to us. It's a piece of language, if you would, that tells us that we need to change our movements and change our movement patterns. So what happens with that spinal arthritis is we start to lose range of motion. We start to increase the tension of the muscles around because they're trying to guard. And we start to feel that inflammation, that hot, irritated, sore, stiff, aching kind of feeling across the back that we just work to stretch to get out of. Here's the problem. When you're stretching, we're typically stretching soft tissues. So the muscles and ligaments around the spine that support the spine, but we're not getting to the root cause of the issue, which is the lumbar facet joints. So when we're talking about spinal arthritis, we're talking about that loss of range of motion, the increase in irritation and inflammation at those facet joints. And there's a reason for that. There's also the reason of decreased joint mobility, decreased strength, and then decreased balance. These are always the three segments that tend to affect the clients that I see. Now, those are very general terms, but let's dive in a little bit further and start asking more questions. So when we talk about decreased motion, are we just talking about decreased motion of the lumbar spine? The answer is no. You're made up in lots of parts with lots of segments that have lots of jobs. And to move well, to move freely, you need all of those segments to work. For lower back pain in general, we need the thoracic spine to move, the lumbar spine to move, and the hips to move well. And all joints move in 6 directions. So we want to free up that motion in those 6 directions, front to back, side to side, and through rotation. And we want to do that in as pain-free of a way as possible, especially early on in your journey. By regaining this motion, we're going to lubricate the joint and restore that motion. And that will also desensitize the tissues, allowing you just to feel a lot more free, a lot less stiff, and move without rigidity. So here's some of my favorite mobility exercises for those 3 segments.
One of the first exercises you really want to learn is called the pelvic tilt. And this is such an important exercise because it teaches you to control the pelvis. The pelvis are the 3 big bones that sit into our hips and also are directly connected to our lower back. Friends, if you control the pelvis, you control your lower back. This is how we do it. First, we're going to take our hands right to the front of the hip bones, right here on top, and we're going to make a C-shaped grip right around that pelvis. We're not going to worry about engaging our core. We're not going to worry about tightening our legs. We're definitely going to continue to breathe. And what we want to do here is help our pelvis roll backwards smoothly and then roll forward smoothly. And that's going to flatten or more than flatten the back and arch the back. And you're going to take your pelvis through pain-free range and your lower back through pain-free range because you're controlling the pelvis. So only move through your pain-free range and allow it to open up with time and repetition. My suggested cadence of this is about 1 second forward, 1 second backwards, and doing between 10 and 15 repetitions, a couple sets, twice a day. That is going to allow those facet joints to start moving smoothly and moving gently within your tolerance, which again is going to lubricate those joints and desensitize the joints. Next, we want to move into moving the thoracic spine. And again, we're going to stay within your pain-free tolerance. So knees are bent here, heels are in line with hips. Have a pillow because be nice to yourself, and why not? Hand to ear, and we're going to rotate forward. And then from the ribs, we're rotating backwards. You'll notice that I'm starting with my hand to my ear here rather than my arm outstretched. The arm outstretch is a nice second level to this exercise where you can open up completely. A lot of people end up leading with the shoulder here and not moving that chest and through the thoracic spine. So you want to train yourself to move the thoracic spine through that pain-free range. And again, allow it to open up with time and repetitions. Finally, we're going to work into hip switches or hip rotations here. So I've got my hands stacked behind me here, and I'm allowing the hips to roll to the side. So we get both internal and external rotation of the hips, and then bringing your chest up and away, chest straight through the center of the knee on the external rotation side, so the side that's rolling out, and just finding a nice deep stretch in those hips, and then working into the opposite direction. Hip internal and external rotation are both very, very important for being able to move well, move functionally. And a lot of people have tightness in their hips. Now, this is far from a comprehensive list, and I want you guys to know all the activities that you can do. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're finding value from this content. Next, we're gonna get into core strength. Now, we're not just talking your six-pack muscle. In fact, I don't even care about your six-pack muscle. We don't train it until way, way, way later. We wanna go deeper. We want to go to your transverse abdominis, which comes across the abdomen and is the only muscle that comes all the way to the back and attaches to the spine on both sides. That is your stabilizing powerhouse. So let's train it. We're going to find those 2 front hip bones again. And now what we're going to do is draw the belly button in and wide. You want to have a wide abdomen and be able to breathe. You're going to keep and maintain your natural lower back curve here as you lay on the table, and we're going to work on bringing up that opposite arm and leg. You want to notice that your pelvis doesn't move, that you're able to maintain that position and that contraction where you're pressing out on that outside aspects of your abdomen and breathing steadily. This is step 1. Step 2, a little bit harder. We'll bring up both legs here, 90 degrees, and arms. Rather than reaching for the sky, I want you to draw your shoulder blades into the table or into your bed. Keep your TA contraction and press out on your hips. This is called holding the elephant. And what we're going to do is imagine that we put a tabletop on us and hold an elephant up. So we need our glutes, we need our core, we need our shoulder blades to kick on and hold that stinking elephant because it is heavy. Hold as you breathe and see if you can get to 20 or 30 seconds.
So now we're going to take that same principle and we're going to draw in the belly button here. Toes are flexed, core is steady, elbows unlocked right under shoulders. And we're going to take the opposite arm and leg out, kicking back through your heel to engage your glute. Keeping this core steady, you should feel nothing in the lower back. And then squeeze your shoulder blade back and in so you feel the lower aspect of your shoulder blade. Where most people go wrong here is they allow the pelvis to tilt, they allow the knee to bend, and they hike the shoulder. So you want to make sure that even though you're reaching, you're squeezing back and down here in the shoulder blade while you're still able to maintain stability and breathe. And then we're going to take that stability to our functional movement training. Why do I have a stick for functional movement training? The stick is here to help us maintain a neutral spine. What we want to do then is place the stick behind our back, touching the head, the mid-spine, and the tailbone. And we can now work into our hip hinging and functional positions. Now, if you guys have been following this channel for a while, you know we train with the big five, being able to squat, lunge, deadlift, split stance deadlift, single leg RDL, or golfer's pickup, however you want to call it. But we're going to work into those hip hinging positions with that stable spine and master those movements. So if you want more videos on that, need help with that, go ahead and comment below. Or if you have other questions about the video or anything else back pain related, go ahead and let me know. I'll be happy to answer and create new content just for you. By the way, there's already a ton of content in my Facebook group. So if you want a good community, great community of people, accountability, more support, and access to me, go ahead and jump in that free Facebook group with the link below. Finally, we've got balance. Now, balance comes in a lot of shapes and sizes. We can get off balance by just stepping on a rock or a twig. If you've got kids stepping on toys, you guys know how hazardous those Legos are. And so we want to make sure that we have our proper balance strategies for both 2 feet and being on 1 foot. Our first balance strategy is using our ankles. This position is called tandem balance. It's a great test to perform. If you can't maintain this for 30 seconds with your eyes up without faltering over or catching yourself on the countertop, you need to do some balance work. Anybody, in my opinion, who can't maintain single leg balance for 30 seconds without faltering needs to be doing some balance work. And really, balance is the most underestimated aspect of health and fitness across the board. Not enough people are talking about it, so here you are today. So start with tandem, heel to toe. Make sure you have a countertop or in the corner of the kitchen counter is my favorite place to tell people to work on their balance. And you're going to work on 3 balance strategies. First are your ankles. You want your ankles to be able to do this. To do that, you need to relax your toes. I know they were already going like this, cat style, in your shoes there. And remember, you're not going to hold on to anything but your shoes. So let your feet work. That's why they have so many bones. Second strategy are your hips. You'll notice in our future videos and on that core stabilization training, we talked about hips being a part of that plan. We want your hips to be able to maintain both your functional movements and your balance strategies so that you can correct those deficits. Step 3 is stepping. If I get pushed over, I want to step. If I catch my toe on a rock, I want to step. That's really, really important. And as we're walking and going through our day, moving around, we are stepping. So it's such an important piece of the puzzle, whether we're on 2 feet or 1 foot. Now, 2 feet can be here, and we can make that more dynamic. We can have fun with it. We can do some reaching or head turning, eyes open, eyes closed. And there are a ton of different ways to have fun with balance. Another way that I really enjoy having fun with balance is to get in this wide stance. Again, opening up the hips and being able to maintain this is going to be really important for you to get into your lunge position, but it's also going to be important just to work into some of that ankle and hip strategy. So try that at your leisure. If you guys want to know some of my favorite exercises to do in that wide stance, go ahead and comment below. And lastly is single leg balance. As I mentioned, if you can't maintain single leg balance for 30 seconds, we need to be working on that and practicing. Not only do we need to maintain it, but we need to keep shoulders and hips level. This little box right here tells a lot, because if we're leaning this way, what's getting irritated? That lower back. And that's a big reason why a lot of people have that irritation. Maybe we're walking and have that little dip. It could be because of knee pain or hip pain or ankle pain, but we're still dipping. And so the back is taking the brunt of that force. And that, my friends, we have to cut out so we can walk with stability. So we covered a lot there. Most importantly, back pain from arthritis does not have to be life-ending. It can be improved. Even if you saw an image, an x-ray or an MRI, and the person who read that image or your doctor reading that image said that, oh, there's a lot of arthritis here, arthritis does not dictate pain. Let me say that again. Arthritis does not mean pain. Arthritis means we're aging, which is a normal part of living. It's a normal part of our process, but our bodies are meant to live a long, long time. Much longer than most of us can make it to, actually, if we take care of it and give it the proper stimulus, the proper nutrition, the proper sleep. Once you regain your full mobility, lubricate that joint capsule and the joints, regain that motion, improve your core stability, improve those movement patterns, and improve your balance deficits, tell me if your back pain doesn't go away. And if you need a plan, if you want all of that organized in a step-by-step video training, let me know. Go ahead and comment below with Bye Bye Back Pain, because I have a 13-week program that you can have lifetime access to and have a money-back guarantee for. I would love for you to be another success story of the functional movement therapy family. So I hope this video served you well. Have a blessed day, you guys, and thank you for watching.